weeks into planting, and plants look healthy. They really haven't grown all that much. Normally this amount of time and you'd expect, I don't know, 8-10 feet out, but we've had really hot weather, then cold weather, and then a lot of wind. So I'm gonna do a little bit of pruning and a little bit of fertilizing, and hopefully they get going. So I'm gonna prune back the first set of secondaries, as well as the codling leaves that are, looks like they're getting eaten a little bit here. So I trimmed off the codlings and trimmed back the first set of secondaries, and then added a couple little stakes just to kind of pin it down, because I've had really bad wind lately. So that'll hold the plant sort of down in the direction that we're trying to get it to grow and prevent the wind from toppling it over and snapping at the base. So these pumpkins have grown together way too much. Should have made this decision a while ago. This one is coming apart, but I'm gonna have to do it real carefully just because of the fact that the two of them have grown together. June 12th, patch update, down to just 2 pumpkins. So both of the backups have been cut out. This is the 2356 booth, and we've done a bunch of pruning, and basically all of the tertiaries are cleaned up, and we've started our vine bearing. So the main vine is buried and the beginnings of the secondaries are buried, and we're sitting at about 6 secondaries per side, so 12 total. I'd like to get to about 20 before we pollinate a pumpkin. Ideally we'd pollinate the pumpkin around the solstice, which is 9 days from now. I'm not sure we're going to hit that this year. We might be a few days or even a week behind that. We're getting real bad wind here, so the plants have been taking quite a beating. Hopefully that settles down, because that's probably the hardest thing we've been dealing with. Same thing over here. This is the 2163 patent. This one's got a pretty sparse right side here, just because this is where we took out the backup pumpkin. Should have taken it out sooner, but that'll fill in, just take a little while. Same thing over here. Plant's probably about 8 feet long, has about 6 secondaries per side, so similar deal. It's on about the same pace. Really the biggest thing that I'm worried about at this point is just dealing with this wind, and these leaves taking a beating. You know, we've got the wind fence up, but given the patch size is as large as it is, it's still decent amount of wind coming through, and it just has been really windy. I don't think really any wind fence could take care of that. So we'll check in and again in a little while and see how the growth is. We're going to pollinate the 2163 patent today. We have the pumpkin blossom tied up just so it didn't open up and get pollinated by bees early this morning. So I'll take the little tie off, and pretty quickly it'll open up. And then I have some male flowers from the 2356 booth that we're going to use to pollinate. This is the male flower. You can see there's no little pumpkin on the end, so this will be the male flower from the 2356 booth that we're going to use to pollinate. I got a couple of these that we'll use. Already starting to open up. 5 lobes. And now that it's been pollinated, tied up just to prevent any other bees from coming in and pollinating with something else. So what we're doing here is burying the vines. You can see going that way under the straw, they've been buried. And then in the last few days, they continue to grow. And there's an example of a little root tip right there. And you can also see on the top one forms. So on the top and on the bottom, a little root will form. So what I'll do is pull back the mulch layer like this and kind of clear a path, and then bury with some pre-mixed soil and then recover with the mulch. Now that the mulch layer is pulled back, I can pile soil up around each of the nodes. The vines are buried. All I have to do now is cover with mulch to keep the moisture in.